Maddie's return is more than it appears. The military have finally gone under Derry and come face to face with it, and we finally get to see Pennywise in all his glory, but was it worth the wait? Go down the tunnels with us on this next episode of Unbinged, starting now. Welcome to Unbinged, the podcast where we like to break down the shows and movies you guys like to binge. I am Sam Holt, of course, joined as always by JaggerMay, Alfredo Brown, and Matt Kopfhamer. Guys, we have so much to talk about when it comes to It, Welcome to Derry, episode 5. But before we dive in, let's get that spoiler warning, because it is going to be a juicy one. Jagger?
This is your one warning that we're about to spoil It, Welcome to Derry, and anything Stephen King related. I doubt you read it, but just in case, if you do, we're about to spoil it.
Guys, Maddie finally returns. Didn't know that we were going to see him again, but didn't really seem like Maddie was himself. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I clocked this very quickly of like, I don't trust this little boy that just came out of the tunnels. He turns into Pennywise and has led the kids under Derry. Alfredo, did you see this coming the way that I did?
You mean you didn't clock the jaundiced child who's fucking gray? The whole, like, he looks terrible.
He looked
That
horrible.
did not look like a real child. Of course it was.
No.
Everyone, every single person on social media, in this house, in everyone's house, was looking at him going, that's not Maddie. And then these 3 or 4 stupid ass kids were like, oh my God, it's Maddie. He's back. Tell us all about your adventure. What the hell,
They missed his friend. I get it. They missed their friend and they were excited to see him. The longer hair, maybe. The not seeing sunlight, kind of. But there was just, as soon as we saw his eyes and there was some deadness there, I was like, this isn't Maddie. Jagger, I'm sure you clocked it as well.
Yeah, I mean, when he's just like, no, don't take me to my house with my family. I'd rather go to the sewers with a fucking killer clown. I'm like, all right, y'all, I will give.
How bad is Dad?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, does your dad suck that much where he's just like, don't go to the cops? You guys know I hate kids being stupid, right? I'll give them credit. They already went to the cops. So they're like, all right, that checks out. We shouldn't go to the police. So I actually buy that they got led in there. But again, as an adult, and we know how Pennywise is, we know he's on some fuck shit. They don't know the depth of his power yet. So I get it. I get the chess move by Penny. I get falling for the chess move. So you know it's not that bad when JaggerMay, known child hater, no fuck you, Cough, fuck you, you hold on, the known child hater is okay with this.
Let it out, Cough.
As soon as Matty said, "Oh, it sleeps at night and it sleeps in the day and it hunts at night," it's like literally yesterday he attacked Marge in broad daylight in the middle of school. So you know that's a lie. So right there should have been red flag number 1, being like, maybe he's not telling the truth. And then red flag number 2, how long has this kid been presumed dead? Like 5 months, 6 months? And if he was in the sewers, what is he eating? How is he surviving the sewers? So these kids aren't asking enough follow-up questions. And that's really where it falls apart, where it's like, yeah, don't go to the cops, but maybe like ask a couple more questions before you just follow him into the sewers. And
I'm not gonna lie, you're asking a lot out of 12-year-olds, my guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
like,
Will's the smartest of the group, and he's asked a lot of really insightful questions. So at the very least, he should have noticed. But maybe because he showed up late, he would have clocked it sooner.
Good point. And he
I'm
just
full of
moved
good
to
points.
base, and maybe he's a little confused.
He's a
But
little
it just-
and he ran back. He was scared for his friends. That's why he had to make it back. But
I'm not gonna lie, they just don't know though. Like they know nothing about Pennywise besides like we are talking from way too much knowledge. Like all they've been haunted by is in a cemetery, and they've taken pictures that showed nothing, and they've went to the police who have done nothing to help them. Like again, like if I'm defending kids, you know it's bad because like I think those people are fucking stupid. So
It felt more like this was out of desperation. This felt like it was out of desperation because they've like logic has kind of gone out the window here. They tried to do the thing like Jag said, take the pictures to the police. That didn't work. They're like, okay, let's just keep grasping at straws to find out what works. This guy seems to know the weakness, which giving out Pennywise sleep schedule is just crazy. He's got to get his 8 hours during the day, and then he just goes full Batman and goes snacking at night. Like, it's just, come on, red flag,
Silly.
red balloon.
Silly. But I do love that the answer is let's get high as a kite and then go into the sewers. Fantastic. Fantastic plan.
Let's take as many as we can. I was like, okay, this is immediately a very flawed plan. The one,
My mom
maybe.
eats like M&Ms.
Mommy's like, your mom is flying on most days and very concerned by
Me and her mom could hang.
Your mom sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Your mom likes to party.
I
cool
feel like a
mom.
cat's belly, and I'm like, oh, she found. It's like, is her mom on Molly? It's like,
I know. I was like, wait a minute. This is starting to give Molly vibes.
Those are,
but
Yeah.
Are those Quaaludes? Did they have lemons?
Steve Madden, like Richie's just on the ground, like crawling.
oh my God. Okay, we have been waiting a long time to finally see Pennywise. So Alfredo, I know that you only wanted to return to the show as soon as he came back and we got to see him. Did this live up to everything that you wanted in terms of a reveal?
Thank you. You guys let me out of the cage. I'm back. I'm here because Pennywise is here. It's lovely to be back. Yeah, of course it lived up to it. Like, you got Pennywise up there going around the pole, working that thing like he's got to pay rent, man. This was great. Like, just he was singing a song, like so performative, and then duck and cover, kiddos. Like, that's amazing. It was such a good reveal. Yes, it was worth it. It would have been worth it in episode 4. It would have been worth it in episode 3. Either way, I'm happy we finally have Pennywise, and I don't care. Like, nobody can argue the scenes with Bill Skarsgård in his Pennywise makeup are the best scenes of the show so far, hands down. And it's made me realize it's not that I wanted the clown, it's that I wanted Bill Skarsgård, because I think he levels up this show in a way that no other character has done just yet.
Fair.
I said this on Threads too, that you could tell they saved. Remember, this is a show, and they have a budget for 8 hours, which is more than a movie. So I'm willing to forgive the bad CGI because they're like, we need all of our stops on these key scenes, and it shows. Like, I go back to the Veronica scene where she's back in the womb killing her mom, and then now what we see in the sewer, they saved the CGI for where it matters. That little ghost shit, fine. We got some haunted.
They gave that to a couple of high school kids in a project.
Yeah,
they were just like, here, throw this through your your laptop.
And we have to stop being mad that HBO doesn't have all the fucking money in the world, guys. Like, let's just calm down a bit. Sometimes it's going to be cheap. If you, like, just think we could watch Doctor Who. That looks like ass. And people love that. Why can't we be more like Doctor Who, people, so.
Just accepting things for the budget that they're allotted.
Yep.
Yeah. Cuff, your feelings on the reveal, because I know that you and I both have the same shirt that does have Pennywise spinning on a pole, but a little bit different context.
A little different. This was really cool. I like the carousel effect, and him coming out of the back of Maddie's head and then like pulling around. That was incredible. So I love the reveal. It did make up for some of the silliness with the military subplot, but man, we've been waiting for 5 episodes, and we finally got, I felt like, a reveal that was worth the wait and really helps signify, like, now we are in the shit, and we are all going to get a very fun roller coaster, hopefully. Yep.
Yeah.
For the next 3 episodes.
And I know that probably not everyone in this group does, because they don't like homework, did the homework and did the follow-up after the episode scene as well as the podcast follow-up. Nope. Koff, I know that you're on my team with me, so I know that you're there. But Andy Muschietti...
I saw the promo afterwards.
Andy Muschietti said intentionally in the interview after this episode that he wanted to build up Pennywise. He didn't want to bring him in 1, 2, 3, 4. He felt he really needed him to come out in 5. And I do feel like this is the back half. So we've watched the first 4 episodes. That was the first half. This second half is going to be so much darker that this is what is going to help kick it off, to have Pennywise launch us into these last few episodes of this season. But guys, before we jump into more, let's go ahead and make sure we remind everyone to go ahead and subscribe and follow and like us on everywhere that you get your podcasts. On YouTube, make sure you leave your comments. We love reading them and seeing how you guys are enjoying the shows that we're watching as well. Plus, we've got so many other things that we're covering. We obviously are covering It, Welcome to Derry. We just covered Predator Badlands, did a lovely movie review over there. We're covering Pluribus on Apple TV, and Stranger Things coming out soon, as well as Fallout is on the horizon. Guys, gotta talk about Leroy and this mission. Not gonna get into all the craziness of the military yet, but in terms of specifically Leroy being chosen to lead this mission, because he doesn't feel fear. And as soon as he went under the sewers, I don't know about you guys, but I felt like he was feeling scared, but thinking logically how this isn't going to scare me. Kind of like when you're going to watch a scary movie, he said, it's not real before I go in, it's going to be fine. Kopf, I want to go to you first in terms of how this laid out for you watching Leroy experience these things. And the first thing that he gets scared by is Charlotte.
And I thought it was a great setup for what eventually happens with Will and his friend. I almost expected Pennywise to like pop up and not know what to do with Leroy, because if he really had a damaged amygdala and cannot feel fear, how does that like change Pennywise's game? And it didn't seem to bother him at all. He was just like, I'm gonna be your wife and pretend like I'm lost down here and maybe see if that'll fuck you up. So it was interesting seeing that play out, and then later him, you know, about to shoot his own son, thinking like, oh, nope, this is just another Pennywise trick. Like, I thought that was a good setup and payoff. I didn't quite feel the emotional hit of his friend dying, just because we hadn't really gotten a lot of those scenes together. So their bond didn't feel very, very strong for me when that breaks. But we've talked about this before, and Jag, I know you've mentioned this. We want to see Leroy get to where he's at in the movies, where he is just this jaded, you know, pig farmer who's just like, rah, it's either die or you know, be a pig, right? Or kill or be a pig. And so this is just another step along that path. So I liked how that all was played out, if you will.
Yeah, I think so. Jagger, for you, in terms of how you've mentioned it before, you want to see Leroy's escalation as to what makes him crazy.
Yeah, it's and I already said this, that Pennywise is like, okay, cool, I can't get in your brain and turn into a fucking spider or whatever phobia you have, but you love your family, don't you? It'd suck if something happened to him. And that's like, to me, that's such a, I would say that's a veteran move for Pennywise, you know? And I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was gonna be the start of the descent. I was like, he about to cap a kid. And then homie Russo literally jumped and took the bullet for him. I think an accident like that is going to happen. I think he might accidentally kill his wife at some point. And that's going to be the devastating thing here. Because, like, basically where I'm at is, like, I'm watching Leroy, and I'm like, big third down here. Let's see how he handles it. You know? That's what it seems like is going on.
This is the ultimate foreshadowing. He put a bullet in between Charlotte's eyes already. Yep. So it could be foreshadowing what happens eventually.
Absolutely. Alfredo, for you, in terms of how you saw that, and then knowing the kids, hearing them run down the tunnel, how did that fear hit you?
Yeah, like what was interesting for me is like Leroy, he's weirded out by seeing Charlotte down there, but he doesn't ever actually truly panic. Like, he's always got his gun ready, takes the shot as immediately as Pennywise starts to progress towards him. Like, he still remains incredibly functional. So I want to see what happens next time they get like locked up against one another. And then I thought that the way that they played off this scene with him and Will was excellent. And I do think, Jack, you nailed it. I think he's going to end up killing Charlotte. And I think that's what's going to have him jaded about life. And it's just going to lead him to be like, all right, this is what we're doing for the rest of our life. Take us back to watching It, where he's shooting sheep in the between the eyes. That's where he shot Charlotte down there in the sewers. Like, let's some imagery here. That's probably what's going to happen again. Let's just be real.
Yeah. And we've gotten, this is why everything that we've gotten so far I'm not mad at, because it doesn't seem like one of these curveball out of left field, like, oh, a plot twist. You know, they're not trying to pretend to be M. Night Shyamalan. It's all been set up where we got a clear path, but it's not predictable to where I'm annoyed. You know, we're on that fine line, and all this setup feels like Charlotte, what is she doing? Sticking her fucking nose where it's not supposed to be at. You know, I am a black person. I know where Charlotte is coming from. She's being incredibly stupid. And I'm sorry, she is being stupid. You're in a brand new town. You know fuck all of what you're doing. She is basically showing up to enemy territory and then pissing on the walls. You know,
and it's a town that's like pretty blatantly racist. Like,
yes,
they don't do a good job of hiding it. Right.
Everyone in this town are babies who have never seen a black person in Walmart for the first time, where they're just like pointing, like, you know how many babies have done that to me, where they're just like, they've never seen a black person before and they're just fucking astonished. And Charlotte doesn't take that information as fear. She's like, I'm going to fuck with these people. And it's insane to me. And again, maybe it's just because we're in 2025. We have a lot more experience on white folks. We've been taking notes, Cough. So like I've been watching the playbook.
What'd you say fuck me for?
Yeah. I've looked at the tape. Y'all don't like being fucked with if, you're in mass numbers. You go like, you just don't. And she's going in there saying like, I'm going to call a Kennedy. I'm like,
JFK, MLK, RFK, all the Ks.
Yeah, it's like
not
Junior though.
I was about to say they're about to call 3 Ks on your ass back if you're gonna keep it up.
Yep.
I could say it, Sam. Don't.
I know. It's fine. I moved a question around since we're talking about Charlotte, trying to keep us on a little bit of the rails, even though we're just under the tunnels and in all of this shit with Pennywise right now. Obviously, we're kind of all clocking this feeling that Charlotte is doomed. And in this episode, we see her notice something very off, something very jarring. And we know it as Pennywise appearing as a cop while she is going to try and assist Hank Grogan.
Cop.
The sweatiest, grossest, most disgusting giant cop. And she sees him and clocks that. And she knows that's off. She doesn't hear that they need to go and run and be safe until later in the episode where Leroy takes them to the base. But she clocks that as off. So I feel like Pennywise has marked her. Because as soon as he reveals himself to someone, Kopf, I want to go to you because you're nodding your head on this one, that means that you're kind of destined to be attacked. Okay, well...
We're just going to give you a lot of visual aids from here on out.
When I was told I was steering this show, the boys were like, "Yay, I get to be passenger princess."
This is driving with kids.
This is driving with you're all just in the back seat. No one's my passenger. You're all in the back seat throwing snacks at each other. And I'm just like, "Can we get to the destination?"
Some goldfish up in the front.
To the destination? Like I'm going full little kid where I'm just copying you the whole time.
I'm sorry, Sam. What was the question again?
Charlotte sees Pennywise. Go.
Okay, yes, there you go. Yeah, she is for sure doomed. Pennywise is setting up his shot, and he likes to torment his victims before finally taking them out. So this is clearly him being like, hey, I'm coming for you. You don't know it quite yet, but it's going to happen. So he is very, very clearly setting her up for a pretty spectacular fall. And I wonder if it connects to Mrs. Kersh in a way, in the fact that she is the white married lady that Hank Grogan is sleeping with, which I do have to admit, I was wrong. Last episode, I was like, she's just some random lady. No, she's very much connected to all this, and I was foolishly wrong.
I mean, I definitely want to keep us going in order, though you guys are jumping all over the page with my questions. But yes, sorry. I definitely want to go into Kersh next. And I think that's actually a really good segue to Kopf in terms of we see her meet Charlotte at the end of the episode saying, I think that you're the only person that can help me. And we've also watched this character go and kind of give some advice to Lily, even though she said, please don't go under the sewers. And I feel like it was intentional of like, no, don't push the red button. This was a red button. She knew that the child was going to push. Jagger, for you, in terms of seeing the dynamic of this woman laced throughout all these different storylines, and in this episode, everything's getting connected. What did that do for you in terms of seeing the importance of this character?
It's nice to know that she's real, because for a while I'm just like, that could be Pennywise, but she wasn't gray or sweaty, so we know that's a key indicator, I guess. And the big thing for me is
sweaty people everywhere.
For
Damn
real.
you, Jagger.
For real, dude. Like, if you are pale and sweaty, I am sorry, but I think you are a fucking clown hallucination. So
that eats children.
God, fair.
I can't even go to the gym with pasty people. No, I'm just kidding. I clocked the what's his face was sleeping with, because Hank, like as soon as I saw her husband sucked, I'm like, she's banging a black dude. Like immediately I was just like, yep, I would cheat on him too.
Don't burn my steak.
Guy.
Well, yeah, surprise.
Don't burn it this time. I'm like, all right, fucking economos, get the fuck out of here. Like yeah, dude, he looked just like him. But it connected all together. And like Kopf said, I need her to matter more than just being the forbidden fruit and the magical white lady, or the white lady of what is she? She's like the Inception top, I feel like, for Lily, you know? So, and I need her to matter more than just that.
It looks like she is going to matter, though, right? Like she's,
for sure.
She's Bob Gray's daughter. Like, we're going to get some background on Bob Gray.
That's confirmed?
Well, we got a little sneak peek of next week's episode, and we do see a flashback there. And there were photos in the house in the movie where she said that was her father. So there are little tiny breadcrumbs of Bob Gray, at least the person of Bob Gray, being her father.
That's probably why she's so familiar with this, and she's telling Lily, like, don't go down. I think she really genuinely means it, like, do not go down there, because she's familiar with Pennywise, but she just kind of like stays back away from it.
Well, why isn't she saying anything then? Like, obviously, this little girl feels like she's getting gaslit, and she's contributing to that by not saying anything. She's like, I don't know, man. That could be my dad haunting the fuck out of you. You know, like,
What if
I feel like she could give a real.
Because what if she is?
What if
so
she
we've
is her
seen
dad?
Pennywise. No. What if she is this version or this era's Henry Bowers? Because we've seen Pennywise use people as kind of an avatar, like go between familiar, where he drives them crazy and then they do his bidding. So maybe that's what literally since 1908, when she was a child, Pennywise either eats her dad or replaces her dad or something, and has been like conditioning her to be his like human familiar. So when he sleeps, she's sowing seeds of destruction or something. And like you said, Sam, when she is telling Lily, don't go down to the sewers, what's the first thing a kid does when you tell them don't touch that thing or don't do that thing? They're like, oh, I'm gonna go do it. So it feels like maybe she is playing both sides, or she's trying to lead people to Pennywise, and maybe this is how her connection with Hank Grogan to Charlotte is how Pennywise ultimately gets Charlotte. So I don't know. There seems something sinister under the surface with Ingrid.
It definitely feels like there's something sinister. Can't quite put our finger on what it is, though, in terms of where she's leaning. Alfredo, do you have opinions on how she's leaning?
I just think the show is trying to keep it intentionally ambiguous so that we as viewers can't figure out what's going on. I actually do think this is a good character. Like, I do think this is a character that is trying to protect the kids. Like, it's been going on since Juniper Hills. And like, I think we're going to get exactly what it looks like at face value. She was Bob Gray's daughter. Bob Gray was like the clown at the local fair every year. And then Pennywise took over, or if he was Pennywise, whatever, it took over this moniker of Pennywise because all the kids loved Pennywise and it was easy to get them to come to him. And like, we'll probably get a lot more of that background story.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right. Let's finally talk about the big dumb military plan to weaponize Pennywise. And this plan is laid out eloquently by Shaw. We're going to go down there and we're going to get the pillars and we're going to make his cage smaller. Okay, that's a plan. I know that we all have very specific feelings about that. Kopf, I'm going to set a timer on you.
Jack,
so
you want you and me? Let's
crazy.
go get a coffee or something. We'll be back in a bit.
Either you guys are going to leave and get a coffee, or Kopf, you're going to get a timer. It's one or the other. You're going to get your soapbox starting now.
Okay, so first of all, the DOD gave Shaw some LSD, and then as he was ranting and raving around fear being a weapon, they're like, okay, let's give him a blank check to do whatever you want in this small town in Maine. Sure, why not? That totally makes sense. Secondly, if the military does know about the existence of Pennywise in the 60s, why did they stop in the 80s? Again, this just connectively doesn't make sense to me. And then third, how are you going to weaponize this like a cosmic entity? If Auntie Rose literally told this little white boy in 1908 all the secrets of her people and how would he ever think that they can weaponize it? Just because you make the cage smaller, then what? What's the next step after that? Like, do you ship him to Russia and hope that he goes crazy there and doesn't come back to America? It's so dumb. It's so silly. Every week I kind of rant about it, and I will stop now so everybody else can get a segment.
That was actually reasonable, Kopf. I expected
proud of
more.
you.
Yeah, that was
So
really
proud.
good. Let's
I've
all
been
clap for
practicing.
Kopf.
Personal
I've been
growth.
practicing.
Look at you. Concise. Love it.
I will say, Kopf, I get it, but thank God they're killing them motherfuckers. Like, I'm okay with that dumbass plot line if they pay for a dumbass plot line. if the dumbass plot line is like what saves the show and or greatly alters the lore, I'd be more upset. But it's easier for me to ignore knowing that Pennywise went in there and had himself a whole ass meal. You know, like that.
Dude, the Uncle Sam thing.
That was so good.
It felt like the biggest fuck you to the military. Like that's what you would have picked for Pennywise, right? Is to be the Uncle Sam and just sort of like laugh in their faces about this whole thing. I think even Pennywise sees how stupid it is. Rose sees how stupid it is. She's like, you can't put a leash on this thing. What do you plan on doing once you get it, right? Like it's ridiculous that this dude comes out of an acid trip and then he's just like, I know how to keep the country safe, guys. Follow me on this. There's a clown in a sewer, eats kids. Let's go.
Yeah. Amazing.
Sources, 10-year-old Indian girl that I met one summer.
I also feel like she was like a second away as he was describing the plan. She was a second away from me like, are you fucking dumb? Like that was the one line from the show that was like, okay, well that's too obvious. We got to like race up. Her face was just saying all of that, which I think was fantastic. And then she kind of just had this realization of like, I'm not gonna be able to stop you. If you want to go fuck around and find out, that's fine. But I'm gonna go and make sure that my nephew has a weapon to defend himself, which he promptly drops. Which of course, yeah.
And I think he acted stupidly. I think he did. He and you could argue that he's young, but you have the spear of destiny and the military around you. You know what that spirit doesn't protect you from? Military bullets. Like, that's Facts. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, that was fucking dumb. I feel sorry, like rest in peace, Daniel, but I will say that he really wasn't in his right. Like, because they're military and that's what they do. Yeah, that's like that actually, come on, Kopf, like military with some weapons ready to shoot a brown person. He's lucky that he even made it inside the fucking sewer. You know, they're like,
the next couple plays out, Kopf.
Yeah. Good point. But why would they? Nope, just accept it and move forward.
That was the
no
most
witnesses.
Believable.
Come on.
Yeah, it's the most believable part of the story is that he got shot.
That is sadly somehow the most believable part. And then we're also aware that so they go into the sewers. Dick Hallorann is promptly sucked away, and he has this whole scene and moment where he is. Don't make that face. I didn't mean to say it that way. Why are you the way that you are? Why are you the way that you are? I'm trying so hard.
I'm so sorry. You said it.
I'm gonna take away the tablet from you while you're playing in the backseat of this car. Oh my God.
Stare out the window.
Anyways, Jagger, I'm going to give you this question. Alfredo's in timeout.
Okay.
Dick Hallorann is transported to his childhood where he is traumatized by his grandfather. We're very aware that his grandfather is a terrible person and his grandmother's trying to defend him and save him, but his grandfather's tormenting him with this box that gets blown wide open. Feels like he's not going to be the same rest of season after this experience.
I think he might be the only one to survive the deadlights because he's currently the strongest person with the Shining, because that's what that is. And we also confirmed that his grandma is actually there telling him like, hey, motherfuckers, let's get on out of here, you know, and he just keeps on listening to the government. Like, it's honest to God, Dick Hallorann is having every experience young black males have. This old person's like, you can't ever trust your government, blah, 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 Tuskegee Airmen, all the shit. And you're like, Grandma, you're scaring me. And then we have like bad experiences and we're like, oh, fuck, Grandma was right. And he is going through this the worst fucking way possible. Like, just like the worst way. Like, for me, it was just like, hey, don't trust people because, you know, they might accuse you of some shit and ostracize you. Man, you might get got by a cosmic clown, you know, like you got real fucking consequences, my boy. And it feels like he needs to wait around in that shit foot first. I'm just wondering, like, where's he at in his military career? Is that 4 years almost up? Because it seems long. This is the longest week of his life.
But if the military knows he has special powers, why would they ever let him leave the military? Like, they would
because you got to sign contracts, baby girl. Like, you got to sign paperwork for that.
Sure, and they couldn't just disappear him into a black site. Sure, why not?
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, You're actually right.
But
I'll let you have that one.
But going back to the scene where he's getting tormented and Pennywise basically unlocks the box, which is his shining, but it's specifically the darkest part of his shining, where he is locked away like the ghosts and the demons that have tormented him since childhood. And that's what he, if you watch Dr. Sleep, teaches Daniel to do. And that's eventually a plot line in that movie and story. So I wonder if it's a specific spirit that Pennywise is unlocking. Maybe it's his grandfather's spirit, or if it is all of them at once, and he's trying to like flood the town with these these ghosts and this negativity, and that's what becomes the storm that eventually will become the finale.
We actually got and this is a question I have for, I guess, the group. Sorry, Sam. I'm going to take the wheel just for a second. They talked about Pennywise's discharge being in the water, so everyone's sipping on Pennywise. I'm just like, man, when was Brita invented? It apparently was not then.
Not
like
the
it's
60s.
Just, yeah, but that's fucking nasty. So he sheds every time. What is that? I have just several questions, and they talk about how the town is getting more aggressive as well. Like, you want to talk about stupid ass military plot lines. If they know that the town is getting more aggressive, wouldn't you have something ready on standby to stop this? Or when was the National Guard established? There seems to be a room for military intervention, and they're more focused on making a Pennywise gun or bomb. He's like imagine if we dropped Pennywise on fucking Korea. And I'm like, get this nigga off the mic. Like, he's dumb as hell. Like, take the
he's Tua after every game. Just walking up to the mic, you're like, please don't say something stupid.
Yeah, Shaw. Every time with Shaw, I'm like, take the ox away from him, because he's got a bad idea after bad idea. Even Leroy Hanlon is at this point just like, what are you fucking doing? And now we know it's LSD. He's MK Ultra, so.
MK Ultra, my God.
And Shaw telling Leroy afterwards, like, these people will answer for what they let us into, is the most like arrogant white man military shit ever. Like, it's the meme of Eric Andre like shooting the guy and be like, oh no, what have they done? Like, dude, you let everyone down there into the sewers, and then you're, after Rose told you not to, and then still trying to blame her. What the military is doing throughout this whole thing does not make any sense. However, I will say it kind of does make sense that they're looking at making a weapon as opposed to looking to protect the town. Like, they're probably just looking at this as a we gotta beat the buzzer type thing here. Is if we catch the clown and do all this beforehand, everything will chill out. We can get the fuck out of here.
Well, also, it doesn't feel like they have full understanding as well. We come into Rose in this meeting where they're having a discussion, and it's a very almost clinical type meeting as they're discussing the number of kids that have died during this session, during this time with Pennywise being out and on the loose, and they're waiting for it to be over. They know that it's going to be over soon, and it's just so clinical because they have such a bigger understanding, I think, of what he is as an entire entity, that you can't stop it, that there isn't some tornado, Blair that they can put through the town of like, he's out now, guys. Like, it's just too big and his power is too strong that people are not going to understand. He's going to get the town anyways. And interesting too that they say that he's building up to a big event, and there's a lot that you guys are mentioning in terms of this boiling that the town is feeling. You've obviously got Hank Grogan that just went to Shawshank. The bus turns over. We feel like that's probably Pennywise.
Yes.
It's amplifying everyone in terms of feeling levels of fear at the biggest points to make them do the craziest things. We see in the credits scene to begin the movie, or to begin the show, that Pennywise is there with the Bradley gang and shooting into the car, and I feel like this is just a mirror to what's about to happen with the black spot, where we know that likely Hank Grogan's going to go and hide in, and that's probably going to be what sets it on fire. The town sets it on fire. In the clip going into the next episodes and coming forward, they've got townspeople wearing masks, and you've got all these different things amplifying. And I think it's such a good point that you bring up too, in terms of, is this open box releasing all of these things into the town even further? At the very least, we know that, Dick Hallorann can now see dead people, because that's how we end the episode. We get a little bit of I see dead people. But I guess I want to go to you, Alfredo, because you're off of timeout now. But in terms of how you see the boiling point of this town with all of these storylines, this is a very big converging episode. How did you feel like they were finally tying together with this boiling point?
Pennywise is the real director of this, or the real showrunner of this Welcome to Derry, because like he's the one that's doing everything right now. Like Hank Grogan talks about it. He's like, something attacked the bus. I don't know what it was. And he happens to be the one that escaped, where a bunch of other people died. Yeah, like this is very, very, very like intentional what they're doing here. I think what you're saying is exactly right. Like we're just gonna end up at the black spot. We already know that catches on fire. I wonder if Charlotte is going to be there, and she actually does get out, and Leroy shows up thinking it's Pennywise, and shoots her there. Because like now I'm fully subscribing to this theory that Leroy kills her. Because for a second, for a very split second, I was like, oh, they're on the military base. This makes sense as to why Will and Leroy are going to make it through. Charlotte, not sure. And then after this episode, like it's just way too much foreshadowing. Way too much foreshadowing in the sewer there for it to not happen.
And he's already said he's going to move his family on base, which will be closer. So if they're on base, imagine Charlotte's going to be cooped up on a military base. Where's she going to want to go?
Well, they're there, right? That's where they're at now, right?
Well, they only just now moved there.
Yeah, they just moved there. So the rest of the rest of the season, they're gonna likely be on the base. But how quickly did Will run away to go be with his friends? Yeah. And to your point, Jagger, how quickly will Charlotte run away to go and try and help, Hank Grogan in his situation, and just try and help in the town?
Do you think that the deadlights enhanced Dick Hallorann's shining? Where like he wasn't seeing other dead people that he wasn't connected to. We already know in The Shining, that's the whole fucking hotel's dead, essentially, and he sees all that. Like, did the deadlights give him, like, unlock a fourth eye in him, or something like that? I'm interested
I wonder
there.
how much crossover there is. Like, did The Shining make Pennywise stronger?
Like
what? Maybe it's a force.
Yeah,
what if it's like a reciprocal thing where it's like unintentional?
Yeah, he's like, I love some magical Negro. It's like some Gatorade,
What's also interesting is that we didn't get the full reveal of Pennywise in the clown until after that box was unlocked. So I wonder if that was intentional on the showrunners to like show that for whatever reason maybe Pennywise wasn't strong enough to be fully revealed until he got to a little bit of Dick's shine and stole some of that power.
Why'd I laugh?
I will pull this car over. I will pull this car over right now.
Are you saying that Pennywise liked the taste of Dick?
Just the little
Soften that knob a little bit.
Okay. Oh god.
No,
he always
you
does
made
that.
it worse. How do you do that?
That, dude.
Always.
Don't set him up. He will make it worse.
Oh man.
God.
You did this.
Anyway,
I just
Cough out a bazooka to a knife fight, man.
Yeah. We make one little dick joke and then he just comes in.
Coughs like oral sex.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right?
Fellatio.
Sorry, Sam.
I get it.
Do you think Shaw makes it out?
Nah.
No.
Absolutely not. Like, there's got to be consequences for everything going on here.
He's out of his fucking mind, man. Now he
lost
seems calm. Now I know this dude has done way too much LSD at that point. He's fucking fried up, and he's just muttering, and he's like, I want my Pennywise bomb. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like,
do you think Rose takes him out?
Who's Rose?
Auntie Rose?
Auntie Rose.
Like,
she's
Native
the one that
American
gave
woman,
the
Israel,
the lady.
Native American.
Sorry, I'm struggling with a lot of these names. No, I don't.
I hope it's Pennywise. Like, I hope it is Pennywise. I hope that the two of them come face to face. Like, he gets so fed up with these missions not going well, and Leroy being like, "Well, I've
I'll do it myself."
Before. Yeah, and he pulls a Thanos, and he goes there, and just Pennywise just ends his shit right there. And Rose is like, "Good, all right, let's go back to being safe, everybody."
Yeah.
For 27 years at a time. Anyway.
For 27 years at a time.
I love the meeting they were having, by the way. They're like, numbers are down this year, and this is good. Only 7 kids have been murdered, about 14 gone missing. This is positive for us, everybody.
We're only going to get one big event. That's what they said. It's like, normally it's like, if he didn't snack steadily, he going to get it in a big one. And that's what it feels like. It's like, I'm honestly surprised they didn't go full blown culture, like South, like just go South American with it, where they start doing sacrifices and shit. It's like, all right, everyone take your third borns and let's give them to Pennywise, so we'll fuck off for 27 years. Yeah.
Well, do we know where their reservation is? Because I'm assuming that it's not in Derry. No. Knock it off. No, we know that Pennywise is trapped under Derry, like directly under Derry. I'm imagining that the Native American reservation is off and not in Derry, so they're already safe. So to your point of sacrifice, they're allowing whatever happens in Derry to happen in Derry because they're already safe.
I also don't know when they were allowed to have reservations.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna look this up now, but like reservations weren't given back to natives until like it got weird, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm not even like Derry.
The vibe right now is a whole lot of like not my clown, not my circus type deal. They're like, that shit's happening over there. I don't give a fuck what's happening across the street. That's not my house.
Yeah,
that's sort of how it feels, right? Even though like there is a very protective sort of vibe. So like even when they get into that meeting and they're like, yeah, we're losing people, there is still like they understand their responsibility of being protectors. And that's what Daniel is called. And like that's how Shaw references them, is like they have been the ones protecting us and keeping the barrier, right? Like they're almost like the jailers or like the warden that's keeping Pennywise in here, and Shaw's still not fucking listening to them.
Yeah. No,
I like how you said warden, because it feels very much like a game preserve, and then a bunch of people moved into the game preserve and they're like, what are we going to do with this? Like, we tried to warn you guys and keep you away, and you just didn't listen to us. So now
they're going to Jurassic Park, and they're getting eaten.
Yeah, dude, it's straight up. It's a little horror.
All the child
Jurassic
predators
Park
in there. Like, could they just not just send like the worst of the worst people? Like, ship them in. These people were like the ones at Shawshank that were scheduled for to be killed. What?
So make Derry Australia. You put all your criminals there. Make a little island.
I don't think there's
know
criminals
enough
in
about Australia.
Is that a thing?
I know
Australia
about kangaroos.
started as a prison colony for the English, just like Georgia was for America.
I wasn't paying
Excuse
attention
me, I don't know that
class,
one
man.
piece of
Jesus.
white history. I missed that month. You know,
I was like, I know
I
this.
skipped Australian History Month.
They're not going to know this. It's fine.
No, I won't.
Wait, what were we talking about last?
Sorry, Sam.
well,
you were talking about like the area and like in which Pennywise is, and like how it's sort of like
yes, and they're
like
the
a big
protectors.
game feeding ground almost. Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving Jurassic Park vibes. And Jagger, you said something really funny about that.
Yeah, like I said again, that like they had like a 4-foot area, and they're like, "Hey, white folks, I wouldn't," and they're like, "Well, I will." And they go in. And now they're
Solid impression.
You can't stop me. Yeah.
Can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do it anyways.
So it's a feeding ground, and I think that the natives are okay with it. It's like you said, it's like Alfredo, you said, not my clown, not my problem. They're like, cool, these white kids will get eaten. We'll make sure to protect our juniors. You got to stay inside until the thing happens, you know, and they kind of move on. I would do the same fucking thing. Arguably, I would just move and leave Maine, but, you know, some people really care about their homeland. I do not. If Oklahoma starts doing some weird clown shit, hello, Florida. You know, that's.
Trust me, it's not better.
Hey,
one could argue it's already happened.
There's clowns there too. There's clowns everywhere.
Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm like, all right, Scoden, we're out of here. You know.
Well, to your point of the seriousness that you brought up, Alfredo, of the meeting in terms of they're the protectors too, they do feel a level of responsibility to keep Pennywise there. They know what would happen if he got out and was unleashed on the world. So they have this level of importance of like the reason they're not leaving and just saying, fuck it, not my problem. They're saying that this is such a big problem that if we ever let it out, the world would not be safe, which all makes sense. And I want to kind of tie this up with predictions going into the next episode. We're left with a lot of different storylines and moments that we know are about to ignite. So I want to go in a circle. Jagger, I'll start with you. One of the ones that I know that I definitely want to talk about is now Lily has this dagger. She has this weapon. I want to see if she's able to wield it. how she's going to control it. What are those are the things, that's what I want to know. What do you want to see next week in terms of how this escalates?
She's going to lose the fuck out of that. Like, come on now, guys. Like, that's like, let's just
the slippery weapon.
Yeah, like where
the Green Ranger dagger? That thing looks sweet, man.
It is. It's dope, but like obviously that thing is nowhere else after, at least from what we know, nowhere else in the lore. So she's gonna lose that shit or get eaten or snatched or something. I don't know, but she got lucky. I do think that they're gonna try to make her. I feel like she's gonna be the sacrificial lamb. You know, she's got, like you said, her Green Ranger thing, and she's gonna sacrifice herself for the group or something. Because like everyone really wants her to be Beverly's mom. I don't care that much. Like, that's not as important to me. Like, not everything needs to connect. I don't need Once Upon a Time Stephen King. I don't need that shit, guys. Not everyone has to be related. You know?
Very fair. Alfredo, what do you want to happen next?
Okay, so I kind of have a theory now, and I'm wondering, like, we've talked about how Pennywise, Kopf, you mentioned Pennywise using people as avatars. Talk about like the town getting angrier, even just like that cop, which the sweaty cop I don't think was actually real. Like I just think that was him showing up in front of Charlotte. But I'm also wondering now with Pennywise getting into Dick Hallorann's mind and The Shining and what could have been reciprocated there. What if Pennywise, especially after that encounter, he was so confused and angry. I think he realizes what it is. What if he tries to start using some of this power that maybe he got or that Dick Hallorann has to see if he can not only find but remove the pillars, and like some of them do start to get moved or go missing? Like Jag, you said, obviously I think it's just happenstance. I think it's just the way everything was written that we never see that dagger again. But what if they give us a reason as to why we never see it again? Like Pennywise somehow got that thing on a bus to Shawshank, and now like his range of motion is a little bit more, right? Like there's a lot of things that could happen here. So I do wonder, like, if Pennywise not just here to snack, but he's just like, I got to preserve myself because my area is going to keep getting smaller year after year if they figure this out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Kopf, how about you?
Less about the dagger. I want to see more of what's going to happen with like Hank Grogan and like what is Ingrid's plan? How does she involve Charlotte? Are they going to move him into the black spot and try to hide him on base? Like that, I'm really interested in that subplot now and seeing where that goes, because I think that's going to be central to what happens eventually with the town burning down the black spot. So I want to see more of that for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that. And here's the great thing about this episode. We're left with everything on the table. Everyone's met. All of their points are converging. We are about to see everything happen going into next week's episode, which we will, of course, be covering every Monday. Guys, I think that'll about do it for us in terms of covering it. Welcome to Derry episode 5. Make sure, again, you like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube, as well as everywhere you get your podcasts. And we will join you next week, probably again from the sewers of Derry. Have a good one.